The following is a deep dive podcast generated by Notebook LM based on content from my upcoming book. In this podcast, we answer this question: how do you make the most of your first, and possibly only, discovery call to uncover everything you need to close the deal? And now, let's listen to the podcast.
Ever feel like you only get one shot to make a good first impression? Like it's make or break time.
Oh, absolutely.
In the world of enterprise sales, that's not just a feeling, it's the reality. Right.
It's true.
So today we're going to dive deep into the art of what they call the discovery call,
Right.
where nailing that first impression can be the difference between, closing a deal or, well,
Hearing those crickets.
hearing those crickets. Exactly.
That's the worst sound.
The worst. So joining me today, we've got
Yeah, so I think a lot of people, they kind of misunderstand what these initial client conversations are all about. They think it's just small talk,
right.
but it's really a golden opportunity to, really uncover those hidden needs, build that rapport that's so important, and just set the stage for, a really successful sales journey.
Yeah, it's about going deeper than the surface.
Absolutely.
More than just like, hey, so what's the weather like over there?
It's about really figuring out what keeps your client up at night, but then on the flip side,
Yeah.
what gets them excited, what gets them, out of bed in the morning. We're
Right.
talking pain points and aspirations.
I like that. I like where this is going.
Yeah.
So, okay, put yourself in the shoes of a salesperson.
Right.
Nerves are buzzing
Sure.
about to talk to a potential client, and this client is on the fence.
Yeah.
Where do you even begin? What's step one?
Well, you'd be surprised how many salespeople, even those with tons of experience,
Right.
they treat these calls like a checklist,
Okay.
Ask a few basic questions, identify a problem or two, and then bam, straight to the pitch.
Gotcha.
But that's where things go wrong.
Interesting.
It's like you're just dipping your toe in the pool
yeah.
instead of diving in for a swim,
Okay, so no skimming the surface here.
Look.
Got to go deep, like scuba diving.
Deep dive.
Deep dive, exactly. Can you give me an example of what that actually looks like in practice?
Sure. So let's say a company, they're struggling with data silos. Pretty common.
Right.
And, instead of just accepting, oh, we need to improve data management,
Face value.
yeah, a skilled salesperson's going to dig deeper.
Okay.
They might ask something like, okay, how are these data silos actually impacting your team's productivity day to day?
Ooh,
What opportunities are you missing out on because of this?
interesting.
What risks are you facing because of this fragmented information?
Okay, so it's about transforming a vague concern into something like real.
Yes.
Like it's got teeth now.
It's got to have weight.
It's got to have weight, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not just about uncovering problems, is it?
Right.
You mentioned aspirations earlier. I want to hear more about that.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just focus on the negative. You got to tap into what excites them.
Okay.
What's their vision for the future?
Future looks.
So that might mean asking things like, what are your company's long-term goals?
Mm-hmm.
How do you see technology playing a part in achieving those?
I see.
So by aligning your solution with their dreams, you're not just selling a product or service anymore. You're
Yeah.
selling a vision of success.
Powerful. Now that's powerful. You're becoming a partner in their success story.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about asking these crucial follow-up questions, but for someone listening, what's step one? What can they do today to start seeing a difference?
I think it all starts with preparation.
Okay.
Before every single call, create a list of questions,
Okay.
targeted probing questions, and really think about that client.
Right.
Don't be afraid to get granular. Really dig into the specifics.
Mhm.
And remember, a vague answer, that's not a dead end. That's an invitation
Ooh.
to dig deeper.
It's like they're tossing you a thread. You got to unravel the whole sweater, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And this might sound obvious. Yeah. But you gotta listen more than you speak.
Oh, that's huge.
It's not about showing off it's about understanding
for them.
their needs, their aspirations. That's how you find a solution that works.
It's like we have two ears and one mouth for a reason.
Exactly.
I catch myself I want to jump in. I
Sure.
want to, show off what I know.
Yeah.
But it's really about understanding them.
It's about understanding, and that comes from asking the right questions
Right.
and then really listening. I mean, really listening to the answers,
Okay.
because you're trying to uncover these hidden gems of information
Yeah.
that can take your pitch from like so-so to irresistible.
Okay, I like that.
So, for example, let's say you're talking to a prospect.
Okay.
And they just casually mention that they're launching a new product line.
Right.
Gold mine, right.
Oh, yeah.
So you could ask something like, okay, how's that new product line going to impact your current data management systems? Or, what are your biggest concerns when it comes to like a smooth rollout?
So you're connecting their immediate concerns with their big picture vision.
Exactly.
Showing them you're not just there to make a sale.
Push a product.
You're a partner.
Your partner.
Okay, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
So we talked about asking those follow-up questions.
Right.
But what happens when you hit a wall?
Sure.
Like what if they're not,
Yeah.
they're hesitant to open up, or they give you those really vague answers?
Right.
How do you handle that?
That's where your inner interviewer needs to come out.
Okay.
Because a hesitant answer, a vague answer,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a dead end.
Okay.
It's just a signal to maybe reframe the question.
Okay.
Try a different angle.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So let's say you ask, what's the biggest challenge you're facing with your current data management system?
Yeah, that's a pretty standard question.
It's a fair question, and they say, oh, it's just not very efficient.
Right. Okay.
Classic vague answer.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
that's not very helpful.
So don't let them off the hook.
Okay.
Don't let them get away with vague answers.
So how do you get past that? How do you get them to open up a little bit more? It's like you almost got to give them the words to describe the problem, right?
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Right.
Because they might not even realize, what's at the root of it.
Yeah.
So you could say something like, I hear you, efficiency, that can mean a lot of things.
Right.
Could you, paint a picture for me? What does not very efficient actually look like in your day-to-day?
Yeah.
Or when you say not efficient, what are the real-world consequences of that? What's the impact?
I like that.
So you're guiding them a little bit.
Yeah.
You're helping them articulate those pain points more clearly.
And then they might realize things they didn't even consider before, right?
Because sometimes they just need that little nudge to really get to the heart of it.
Okay, yeah, that's really interesting.
And as you do that, you're not just a salesperson anymore. You're a trusted advisor.
Right. You're problem solving together.
Exactly. And people, they want to work with people they trust.
Absolutely.
Who understand their problems.
This has been honestly a masterclass in the art of the discovery call.
I'm glad to hear it.
I'm ready to go out there and channel my inner detective
There you go.
on my next call.
That's the spirit.
Who knew? A simple conversation could have so much writing on it.
Well, it's all about strategy, right? Like we've been talking about. It's about going beyond the surface, asking those tough questions, really listening to the answers, and then framing your solution in a way that connects with their aspirations, their dreams.
And building that relationship from day one.
That's the key.
That's the key.
That's how you build those long-term partnerships.
And maybe even inspire a client to dream a little bigger. Right.
Absolutely.
That's a win-win in my book.
I love it.
Okay, so for all of our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. What are your go-to questions for those crucial discovery calls? Let us know.
So, there it is. What do you think? To recap, we covered the high stakes of the first discovery call, the power of pain points and aspirations, and building a value hypothesis with follow-up questions. Number 1. The high stakes of the first discovery call. The first discovery call is your one chance to uncover everything you need. Getting it right can set you up for a successful sale. Getting it wrong could mean losing the deal entirely. This episode highlights why this initial conversation is so crucial and why thoroughness is essential. Number 2, the power of pain points and aspirations. It's not enough to just identify a few surface-level issues. To build a compelling case, you need to uncover both the customer's pain points and their aspirations. This episode covers the importance of getting the full picture of what the customer wants to fix and achieve. And number 3, building a value hypothesis with follow-up questions. Once you know the pain points and aspirations, you need a value hypothesis that connects your solution to the customer's needs. This episode explains how follow-up questions can help you gather the right information to create a value hypothesis that aligns perfectly with your prospect's unique goals. This is the Communicating Value Podcast. My name is Paul. I'm the Value Coach, and as always, thanks for joining.